Greetings folks, it's me GigaLem and welcome to the last part of the Q&A. Today we're on the final part of the hard mode survival levels, the rooftop, and this was the set of levels I actually had a failed take in, and it was because of that failed take that made me realize that this mode is the waves of zombies you get in later flags are actually randomized, because the one thing I was actually worried about was that later on in this I was worried that I was going to have to deal with not only catapult zombies but also zombonis in this, but because they didn't show up in this take, that made me convinced that whatever zombies could appear on hard mode are randomized. Where, like, the first is bog standard to get you started, but with this, I'm practically convinced that, but, like, with, like, later incarnations, you see that the game is just going to try handing your ass to you, and just, it gets really bothersome, because I was being bulldozed by zombonis. I'm not kidding. So, now that we have that little rant out of the way, let us get to the next question. As Kiron asks, what FPSs, shoot-em-ups, or other such shooter games have you played? I'm gonna start with my favorite being Doom in terms of FPSs, because Doom's a classic. I still have yet to play Doom 2016, and if I'm going to play it, I'm probably going to grab it for my Nintendo Switch, because I'm not going to be able to run Doom on this old computer. This is a workspace computer, not a Alienware. And an Alienware I've seen can cost as much as a used car. But I'll grab it for my Switch, because I've heard it's a really good port. Even if it stutters, even if it, like, suffers a tiny bit of slowdown. But, like, I like playing classic Doom. I like Doom 2 more because of the super shotgun. And, of course, if I'm gonna play Doom, I'm probably gonna play source ports like Xandronim or G-Bloom, which I'm probably going to do when I decide to record Doom or Doom 2 for Melting Pot. Like, I'll probably just get G-Bloom to play it in the classic style, but in a more modernized way, because trying to play the original does have some, like, issues. My issues is the control. And, like, you can control with a mouse or with a keyboard, but in an FPS, I want to prioritize having a mouse for firing. And in the original, when you're moving the mouse, like, to your side, when you're trying to turn to the side, you're also strafing. And I don't think you can change that in the original, like when you're playing on DOSBox, and I don't want to use keyboard controls for any. In terms of shoot-em-ups, I've mostly played Metal Slug. I've never played Contra. I've never played Gradius. I think I've played a little bit of a Flash version of Xevious. But it's mostly Metal Slug for me. And Metal Slug's a really good shoot-em-up. And that reminds me about considering the latest, the latest Smash update and how we have Terry. 50 songs! 50 songs for Terry! Just like, sure, at least we have 2 songs each for the hero, but 50 songs! And several of them are remixes! Oh. And one of them is a remix of Metal Slug! Well, you wanna know what bothers me about the update? We got 5 new Mii fighters. They're all themed after fighting games. Most of them. Like, one of them's a sword fighter, the rest are just brawlers. One thing that bothers me about it is that we didn't get a single Metal Slug Mii gunner. like, I get wanting to keep a theme, but you don't just give me a Metal Slug theme and not give me a Metal Slug Mii Gunner. Like, if there's one thing I'm hoping for, is that within the next set of Mii Gunners that get added, one of them is like Marco from Metal Slug, either Marco or Tarma, any of the Metal Slug characters, because I need a Metal Slug character as a Mii fighter, because even if they're not a playable character, because there's more of a presence of King of Fighters, I'd still be happy anyway. But it's usually, like, in terms of FPSs, I've only sampled certain modern FPSs. I've never played Team Fortress 2, and I'm worried that I want to get into it, but I can't because I feel like I'd be getting into TF2 way too late. And it's just like I have like a lot of catching up to do and stuff. I've only sampled like a few single player modes on Call of Duty, and even then, just if I want my multiplayer action from Activision, again, Crash Team Racing. but it's just like, but yeah, that's in terms of FPSs I've played. I'm pretty sure there's probably more I should give a shot. I should probably try some build engine games to see which ones stick, because I know there's a huge following for Duke Nukem, and how people still mourn of the series killer that was Duke Nukem Forever. Hey, it's just like either playing more build engine games or playing total conversions to see what pretty cool mods I can just check out and such. It's just, yeah. What's the first YouTube poop you came across? And also, are there any others you like? Well, okay. In terms of the first YouTube poop I came across, I did not bother watching YouTube poops because I didn't like the idea of them at first, because I thought it was just something making fun of something you like, and I then realized it wasn't the case. It was more just more seeing what kind of silly stuff you can do. I wouldn't watch my first YouTube poop until my little sister found some My Little Pony YouTube poops. The first one of which being Toast Busters. And on top of that, there's a Gen 5 reference in that little YouTube poop. And as you know, like, I love Gen 5. It was I can appreciate all other regions, even if the region is not very well liked. At least it's I can see the good in the Pokemon in it. But it's just, I love Gen 5 to death because it was my home generation. It's what made me a fan in the first place. But that's besides the point. The point is that it was one of the first few YouTube poops I've ever saw, and eventually I would start to watch more YouTube poops and such, and one of the first YouTube poop series I've watched and will always turn back on whenever I can, if it isn't a 2010 styled one, is Wow It's Made. I even showed that YouTube poop series to my mother, and she did not understand what was going on. She was weirded out. It's just like, my mother said something like, it's just like, you thought we were weird for Monty Python and stuff like that. And I never thought I'd hear my mother compare a YouTube poop to Monty Python. It's just, and I still have to show my mom Wow It's Played, the 4th Wow It's Made entry. And I've seen some pretty good ones, and I usually prefer the ones that don't overly rely on ear rape, and can do really well done sentence mixing. That I always love sentence mixing because it can make some really good quotable stuff. Like, I constantly hear I Teach Vader stuff quoted from my friends sometimes, and I Teach Vader has some really good 2010 era YouTube poops, and he's also composed some really good songs and stuff. Like, just check him out. Like, tell him Giga sent ya, and just stuff like that. But yeah, I really wish I would have gotten into YouTube poops much sooner. In fact, I think I remember someone talking about a YouTube poop that mentioned Big Bill Hell's cars. And that was back in middle school, when I was not even interested in that kind of stuff. Yeah. Also, do you drink coffee, or rather tea? I never had tea, and I'm not sure if I ever will, because I don't know where to start with tea, but I'm probably gonna pick coffee, especially frappuccinos, and in terms of favorite frappuccino, toasted white cocoa. Though there was another flavor I liked that I can't seem to find anywhere. It was a s'mores frappuccino that I remember, like I remember only seeing it at the State Fair Park in Salt Lake City. It was at like a 7-Eleven at then and such.
White chocolate vanilla bean that you used to get at Starbucks that you call the rainbow in a cloud.
Oh, alright.
You didn't have coffee, but you still liked it.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm probably gonna pick coffee because I'm more familiar with it, and I still need to try more flavors. I don't really want to go for the strong, bitter flavors. I want to go for a happy medium of it. While it still has that bitter taste, it does have a really sweet taste when it begins, and I can just like I don't just tolerate it. I just enjoy it enough. Adrian Brown asks, "What's your favorite console ever?" Before I continue, this is the only question I received on Twitter. Anyway, so for the longest time, it's always been the Nintendo GameCube. It was one of my first consoles ever, though I do remember playing a bit of the N64 and the PlayStation 1, and of course, I've grown a gigantic appreciation for the PlayStation 1 and how it introduced some of my favorite franchises of all time. But in terms of like what would be good contenders of my favorite consoles, stuff like the Nintendo Switch and 3DS/Nintendo DS and stuff like that. The Switch has probably seen a lot of love from me over this past year because I've been giving it a lot of attention. I've been playing a lot of games on it, and of course, as you may know, again, I've played a lot of Crash Team Racing on it. And I'm going to be playing it more this month because of the next Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure this might be the last time I mention that in this video. Okay. Colorful already asks, "What's your favorite fast food restaurant?" Okay, first off, let's remove McDonald's because that's a bit too obvious. Now, in terms of fast food restaurants, I've chosen it's Arby's. Like, I've always enjoyed a good sandwich with nice thinly sliced deli meats and stuff. And while I have been fancying Subway lately, I've enjoyed Arby's a lot because I like their little roast beef sandwiches. I've enjoyed their sliders, and I'm always looking forward to whenever coupons show up for them because I like getting a 2 for $5 on the beef and cheddar classics. And of course, there's something from Arby's that you can't beat, and that is the and that has to be the curly fries. Those curly fries are dipped in a special batter from what I remember. Like, I remember seeing it from Unwrapped, an old Food Network series that no longer airs anymore. And whatever that batter is, it makes the stuff taste really good. And I really wish I could make that kind of batter. Alright, like, we're only halfway through these videos, and I'm on to my last 5 questions. Scout asks, FP1 Mila or FP2 Mila? Both in design and personality. Now, I like both their designs, but I will prefer the design of FP2 Mila because it feels a bit more matured and a bit more formal and fun. In terms of personality, I can't really judge Mila's personality too much because the only story we've seen is a trailer, and I do like her becoming a potion brewer and always wanting to help her friends with certain situations. And of course, what's a pupper without that pupper being adorable? And she is adorable still, and fortunately they added another victory quote from the gameplay explained. You can barely hear it over Strife's voice, or Stephen. I think it's Stephen Diderot's voice, but you can hear that they brought back the "I'm a super dog" quote, and I'm so glad for that, so I don't have to hear "mission complete" every time I beat a level. So, and it's just like I will admit that I feel like some deliveries on Amy Smith's line could be a bit better, but again, she's a young puppy that so she's gonna be a very excited and optimistic puppy, no matter what kind of elements the world stack up against her. In terms of FP1 Mila, I wish she was expanded more, but like in terms of what she does have, she feels like forced to try to try to follow anyone she trusts because of how harsh the world has been, and considering that it's implied that she's probably an orphan puppy, and I'm going to keep it I'm going to say implied until proven otherwise, because like it's going to be more so it's just like I'm going to take it as canon until it's like proven otherwise or retconned or something like that, but yeah, it's more so just like she wants friends, she wants a home, she wants people to talk to, because like she's seemingly lost without parents or anything and stuff like that, and I can't help but feel bad for her. And that game made me warm up to dogs. It made me love puppies, and I wish I had a puppy. I wish I had one of my own, and I can't unless it's like a small puppy I need to take care of. Like I would take care of a corgi or a Pomeranian or something. Because I've seen enough Yorkies for a lifetime, and I want something that's more adorable, like to have like a very good smile. All right, second question: originals or Insane Trilogy for each game? So in terms of the originals, let's start with Crash 1. Well, if I want to have a more lax time with Crash 1, I'm going to pick Insane Trilogy because you can die. But if I want to play with the more weird jankiness and the slightly better collision detection, because I know because I really love Insane Trilogy, but I know the collision detection can be a bit weird, and I feel like it could be adjusted a tad. And if I want to challenge myself, and I enjoy challenging myself in Crash 1, I am going to probably pick the original. It just really depends on my mood. And speaking of Insane Trilogy, I actually got a platinum in Crash 1 on my first try, and it was on a hog level. Crash 2, I'm probably gonna have, even with Insane Trilogy's version, which is the better of the two, I don't enjoy Crash 2 as much as I do Crash 3 and Crash 1, because I do not like its overly precise level design. And the levels feel like they take forever to complete. Even if I'm not going for 100%, I'm dying a lot because the game takes too much advantage about you can die and still get the gem. And it considering that Naughty Dog was the original developers for those 3 games, I feel like Naughty Dog kinda went a little too gung-ho with how many times you can die, because there's almost an obstacle everywhere you go, with little room to breathe, little room for error and such. And while I can understand little room for error in terms of time trials, but that game wasn't made with time trials or anything, and I dare not go for time trials on that game yet. And even then, I don't enjoy trying to go towards trying to play through the levels of that game, because it's almost like a lot of the levels are Stormy Ascent hard. I feel like the game does not stops getting fun when I reach the 4th world, and while the 5th world is a tad better than the 4th one, and some levels in the secret world are alright, I love Totally Fly, but in terms of everything else, there are a lot of staples, there are a lot of improvements with Crash 2, but for every step forward Crash 2 takes, I feel it takes 1 step back. No, it takes 2 steps back, I mean. Because I don't like its level design, but I do like the better bosses, and I do like some of the staples within the game and such. It's just I can appreciate a lot of stuff from it, but I just can't like the game itself. In terms of Crash 3, it's more of a Crash 1 case, but I can go back to either game. But in terms of me wanting to go for all gems, can I just say, the gold relic for Future Tense sucks. I hate going for gold on Future Tense because it's 1 minute 15. When the Sapphire is around 2 minutes. And I did not enjoy going for gold in Future Tense, and I don't want to go for platinum in Future Tense. I'll go as far as getting gold in Future Tense, but for Crash 3, but I don't think I'd be that mad enough to go for all platinums. I've gotten a few platinums by complete happenstance in Crash 3. I was trying to go for the gold in High Time, and I ended up getting a platinum. My goodness, I just posted it on, I posted the tweet on Twitter with the image of the platinum relic, and I just said, "Rot in hell, High Time." Just like that. But regardless of which version I'm playing, I can easily go back to any version, whether I want the authenticity of the PS1 version, or if I want the beauty of the Insane Trilogy version. And that's what I think. Which game would you like to see getting the Crash/Spyro/CTR remaster treatment? In terms of that kind of treatment, I'm going that, there are so many games that I think deserve that kind of treatment, but one obvious example is Ape Escape. there's been an official Japanese Twitter for Ape Escape that's been teasing us this kind of stuff, and we're not and while there's been activity of it, we're not sure if they're actually gonna follow through with a proper like a proper remake or remake trilogy. But if that were the case, I wouldn't mind picking up a PlayStation 5 for that. And in terms I would definitely want to get the get remakes of Ape Escape, because those are some really good games on that Sony has ever offered. And Ape Escape 1 is probably one of the best games you'll ever play on the PlayStation, along with stuff like Symphony of the Night or Tekken 2 or something like that. And yeah, in terms of other games getting a remastered treatment, do any of you guys remember Gex? It was this mascot platform that was originally meant for the 3DO, has seen releases on several different consoles, and because of that, I've only played the second entry, being Gex 3D, and I still have my copy of the PC version, and I feel like those games could use a proper touch-up. In fact, they're available on the PlayStation Network, if I remember correctly. And while the first game was a 2D side-scroller, and it's the second and third entries of the game, that game, where they really truly shine. And I need to do a proper full playthrough of the second and of the probably the first entry to see how it began, and the third entry, because I did not know the third, there was a third entry until now. And if those games got remade, that would be pretty neat, because those are some really fun, quirky games and such. And believe me, during the mid to late 90s, there were many 3D platforms that struggled to stand toe to toe with Mario 64. Of course, you know where my heart belongs. Freaking heart. Where my heart belongs. It's in orange marsupial, because I've never played Mario 64 without an emulator.
You didn't exist till the late 90s.
I'm talking about after the fact. Anyway, I guess another set, like I said, remakes that I wouldn't mind seeing if licenses were properly acquired. The freaking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series. Oh man, this is actually the end of the... Wow! But, yeah. Ugh. Since I only have 2 questions left, I might as well answer them. Okay. Which Sonic Adventure would deserve a remaster more? 1 or 2? I don't think any one of them would deserve a remaster more than the other. I think both of them deserve remasters at this point, because I think streamlined gameplay, refinements and such, and just having everything be prettied up without messing with anything that people enjoy or stuff like that, as well as, oh, I don't know, bringing back the Chow Garden, because people really gush about the SA2 Chow Garden because of how very deep that Chow Garden is. And that is just while Sonic Adventure 1 needs it most, because that game is very jank, very stilted in voice acting department and such. I feel like SA2 needs to have that as well, because I'm tired of seeing SA2 get the worse rap than SA1. And I would like to see it get a better rap than it already does. And now for the last question of the Q&A. Which controller do you enjoy using the most, if any? For the longest time, it's been the Nintendo GameCube controller. In fact, I'm holding one of them now. This was a gray one my brother found at a DI. This one's a really good one. It's in really nice shape, has a very nice feel to it. Feels almost brand new. And there's a lot of things I like about this controller. The placement, the absolutely clicky bumpers. How it's always been brought back for every Smash incarnation, and I'm so glad for that, because this is a really good controller, one of the best controller designs. And controls that would stand toe-to-toe with that would be like the Xbox controller, because it kind of has a form-fitting standard. The Xbox 360 one, and it only got a little bit better with the Xbox One controller, because it replaces that horrid D-pad with a proper D-pad. This it's a proper D-pad, and I recommend for certain games. Like you could use it with the Xbox version of Insane Trilogy, or the PC version of it. And then there's the one that, because of how the Joy-Con buttons were wearing my thumb out, I got a Pro controller, and this thing has been like a godsend when it comes to certain games, because this controller feels absolutely comfortable, and it's one of my favorite investments in 2019. I'm just so glad I made a mad dash for this controller, because I haven't played Crash Team Racing with any other controller ever since. But that is all the questions, and I am glad you guys stuck around for all 5 videos. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Hopefully the finale will come soon. I shall try to get the remaining achievements done. I shall try to show off certain challenges to do during certain levels, and just whatever it is. I just need to get certain things done before closing Plants vs. Zombies up, because it's almost over. So, I shall bid you guys adieu.